I want to show you how easy it is to create some fun visual interests just with some simple supplies, and create some really fun embellishments for any part of your home. I'm going to have some fun helpers in this video. I really want to create more textures around my home, and I'm thinking by adding more framing would be a great way to do so, and it's quick and easy. First thing I want to share is creating a canvas piece. So just with a canvas board, and you can use any size that suits your wall space. I'm just adding some white gesso to the canvas to create as much texture as possible. I'm using a white plastic knife to apply. So what I'm going to do is actually use some weather stripping, and it comes in a small and a medium. So I opt to use the medium because my canvas board is on the medium to larger size. Definitely make some great texture with this. I love the crackle effect that gesso can give, but you can also just use white acrylic paint. So first thing I'm going to do is actually peel back the sticker on the back of the weather strip. What I'm going to do is start from the very top. Now it doesn't matter which way you want to position your canvas board, and again you can do this with any canvas board size. I flipped my canvas board so that way it was vertical instead of horizontal, and it's about 2.5 feet width and about 4 feet in length. And I'm just going to take strips of the actual weather stripping, and I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of a wavy design and just use pieces. As I get to the end, I'm just going to cut them off. So as I place the weather strip and create the design that I want, that's when I start pulling all of the extra residual sticker off the back. Then I make my cuts. I do recommend to run back with your hand and make sure that the weather stripping is pressed down exactly where you want it, and just give it to help the adhesion have a nice firm placement. The adhesion stick on the back of weather stripping is really good, at least in this product, but if you did have any issues, you can always just grab a little bit of hot glue. Any home improvement, hardware store, or Home Depot will carry weather stripping, and it's inexpensive. For any of the leftover fold on the side of the canvas, I'm just going to use a staple gun. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use any household paint, and I have tons of sample paints just because I like to sample the color before I apply it to the walls. So what I'm going to do is just use one of the little sample pots, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to paint everything. So I'm going to make sure that all the weather stripping, including the canvas, because I created a lot of texture with that gesso, and give everything 2 full coats. You can use any type of paint or paint brand for a project like this. But I really want to show you how easy it is to create a frame. So I picked up the spruce framing, and this is literally 1 by 2 inch, and you're just going to make some 45-degree cuts. We have a miter saw, but you could actually do this by hand with a miter box and a saw. So this is not something you need special equipment for. Make sure to measure your canvas board and then give yourself about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And again, all it is making 45-degree angles. You're going to make kind of like a left hand and a right hand with the 45. So everything kind of comes together into a picture frame. The other thing you can do is actually give yourself about 1/2 inch all the way around your frame. So this way it will appear more like a floating frame. So that's what I wanted to do with this particular art piece. So I'm just going to test it out first, and then I'm going to use corner clamps, and I'm going to use L-bracket screws. So this way I can screw in all 4 corners so everything is sealed tightly. I'm actually going to leave this frame natural. I actually really like the look for a wood frame for a art piece, but if you wanted, you could stain it, or you could just go with a natural wood stain to match your decor. I love making frames, And I think this is a great way to have some visual interest for any room in your house. And I want to show you how easy it is to create this. So I'm going to get some shelf edging as well as a chair molding rail. And what's really great is it comes in, this is at the Home Depot, 14 feet. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to saw them down to 8 feet, and then we're also going to use our miter box saw, which is all done by hand at home. I really want to create a two-toned effect, so I'm going to go with something that's really going to go with a neutralize but a matte finish in the All-in-One by Behr. So these shelf molding strips are so light and so easy to work with. So we're just going to do this with a hand saw. But I thought I would try by doing this in the hallway to see how much I really like it. So this is a really good space to try this project out. The chair rail that we want to apply, we need it to be perfectly even. So we're using a laser light, and I'm just going around and just kind of double measuring, making sure that when we go to put it up onto the wall, it will be perfectly straight. The chair rail molding is so light. It's really easy. You can just use a miter box with a handsaw. You don't need any power tools. We already have one, so we're just going to do the actual chair molding just with that power saw, but the rest of this we're just going to do it by hand with that miter box. We're just using the small little hairpin nails, and if they don't go in all the way, you can grab yourself a metal chisel and just tap it, and it will go right into the actual rail. We're using a nail gun, but you don't have to use a nail gun. You can just use the hairpin nails with an actual hammer. If you do have the extra power tools, it does go by a little bit quicker. This is going to be a great way to add visual interest to what is kind of a bland space. All walls, when there's not much going on, it's not very visually interesting. So adding rails is very inexpensive, and adding the additional framing underneath the rail will be even more beautiful. Because some of the boards that we're putting up are quite long, thin, and very lightweight, we don't want it to bow in any direction, even knowing we are nailing it. So using no more nails can definitely just help everything kind of sit seamlessly against the wall. Everything about this project is measurement. So you're going to measure your wall space, and that will help you determine how many feet of actual molding that you're going to need. So now that we're doing that shelf molding, this is where we're going to create kind of these smaller, thin picture frames underneath the actual chair rail that we already put up. You can make your picture frames underneath the rail any size you want. You can make them more rectangular, you can make them even more square-like. You can put in a few, or you can even just go with bigger and less framing. There's so many different designs, it's endless. It really just depends on the shape and the dimension of the room that you're working in. We measured it to be about 5 inches all the way around every section of each picture frame that we did. But visually, if it would really help, what you can do is actually get that really thin painter's tape, and you can actually tape on the wall the exact measurements in which you want to place your picture frames. So that too may also be very helpful. Also, making the pencil marks with the ruler and using that thin painter's tape will help you guide you in exactly where you want to put your actual picture frames. I just decided to keep going so I could get the majority of the project done in one day, and then this way Ryan could actually finish off the picture frames onto the bottom, onto the opposed side of the wall. So I picked up the color Whitewash Oak, and I thought this would be a really good tone, because we already have this Genesis white color. So I just kind of wanted to give it a variance in tone. So it was a little bit darker, but still very muted. They did advertise with Behr that this was a one coat application, and I can say from my experience, a one coat did a perfect job. So that really kind of takes the labor out of painting. But the other nice part about doing a kind of this wainscoting is you only need to paint half the wall. We've only lived in this house for 6 months, and I still have tons of stuff that I want to DIY as well as stuff in boxes. So I decided to change out the gallery feature that I have for this hallway space. So our timing worked out great because now we're finishing the other side of the hallway with the picture framing, and the paint is drying. So once we get the rest of the picture frames completed and the paint on the top is dried, then we can go around and actually use the caulking. And that's going to kind of tie in any of your edges and corners to make things a lot more seamless. So we're using a caulking, which is a molding and trim sealant. This goes on really, really quickly, and it should be completely dry in about 30 minutes to an hour. Once all the caulking is completed, as I say, it'll dry fairly quickly. I'm just going to do a 1/over coat in the original white that's at the bottom of the actual hallway space. I've already bought 2 of these in a previous DIY project I did, and I love them. These are LED gallery frame lights, and they work beautifully. All you have to do is charge them, and then they have a converter. This way you can flick them on and off whenever you want. And this is actually going to be really nice, kind of more mood lighting. I thought this would also be great in addition to using kind of those wall sconce style lightings, and I don't have to worry about the electrical. Light sconces as well as these wall gallery lights are great because it's really just plug, charge, and you're good to go. So you never have to worry about all that electrical stuff in order to apply wall lighting. I just wanted to give this the extra professional touch, so I just thought by giving it a 1/over with the original wall paint just to make everything smooth and slick. Now we can give this a gallery makeover. My original wall gallery I love, but I think I could do a better job. So for this one, I thought by going with the larger pictures that I already have, this would look really striking. The brackets are very easy to apply with the LED gallery light, and once they're charged, they work on an actual magnet, so it's really easy to take them on and off to charge them. And the bonus is they come with a remote. I'm really happy with this whole changeover, and again, this can work beautifully with any small space, bedroom, hallway, small bathroom. I absolutely love how it turned out. It really elevates the space, giving a lot more visual interest, and it was really fast and easy to do. I think this space really deserved this makeover, and I'm really looking forward to trying other really fun DIY makeovers in the future. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you soon. Until then, take care.